Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing well on this cold Tuesday. It's been a snow day for my wife and kids at the Sandoval Academy of Bilingual Education. So they've been home today. I'm snuggled up in my hoodie and keeping warm and working on some of our coursework and reading and other things. So I hope you're having a good day as well and that you're keeping warm. I wanted to check in about our progress in our class. This week we're on the second week of Unit 2. So last week we read a bit about historical thinking, started thinking about the 5 C's of historical thinking among other ways of approaching the study of the past. We had a pretty good start of a conversation on Twitter. Please check that conversation. I added a few questions, some follow-ups, and please continue to jump in with your ideas about historical study and why it's so important for us to think carefully and critically as we study the past. I'd love to hear more of your voices, and I always appreciate when folks respond to me and to each other there. And so we got that conversation going. The second half of Unit 2 this week, you will be identifying a historical item. Again, that can be something that you have around the house that's meaningful to you. It could be something you pass by every day. It could be a monument. It could be a house. It could be a book. It could be experiences that you remember. There's not really a wrong answer in terms of identifying a historical item, but it should be something that has some sort of meaning to you and that helps you connect to the idea of thinking about history, so that you can write your Medium post there. And I just used the word write, but the example that I shared with you, I made a video where I shared my historical item. So I want to emphasize again that even though history is grounded in the written word, we will be reading a lot, we'll be writing quite a bit. It's not only the written word. There are a lot of other ways of presenting our analysis of the past and also presenting and preserving the past. So we can do that online now, given our current technology with video. You can share images. You can be as creative as you possibly can be, and I encourage you to be, with your contributions to Medium for our class. I'm really looking forward to seeing your historical items and reading more about those, and to help us all get a sense of how we think about history together. I did post in the course activity feed here in Brightspace, so it's on the front page. If you scroll down past this announcement video, down past the course feed, I think is what it's called. Sorry, I'm going to use the wrong names. Content browser. If you scroll down there, you'll see the activity feed. I've posted a link to a Medium page that explains how to respond to other people on Medium. And I think all of you should have noticed that I use those features to add responses to your Medium posts. I give you scores in Brightspace, but I add my comments and my feedback and my thoughts on what you've been writing and posting, particularly your COVID histories for Unit 1, right there on Medium. And I really encourage you to read and respond to each other's work as well. Also, you can highlight and write notes on or ask questions right on the unit narratives. So the course there on Medium, if you're reading through and something strikes you, a question you'd like to have answered, you can post it right there on the page of the unit narrative itself. Hopefully that makes sense. I really want you to take advantage of that. Medium's a great way for us to be collaborative as well as to do things individually. It's one of the reasons that I chose to have our class up there. Let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh yes, I do apologize again for having left an old link to Hypothesis in the Unit 2 narrative. If you joined a Hypothesis group called just Intro to Historical Study, please make sure that you look at my announcement from last night, click on that link and join the Hypothesis group that is called, let me make sure I tell you the right thing. that is called HIST 1103 Spring 2021. So it's specific to our class this spring. That will just help me as the instructor to keep track of our conversations via Hypothesis. Hypothesis, sort of like Medium in terms of what I was just talking about, how you can annotate a page right on it, except you can do it on any web page, and we can do it on PDF documents and things like that. We'll be annotating a couple of PDFs next week in Unit 3. So I have a video embedded in the Unit 3 narrative and also in Brightspace that explains how to use Hypothesis with a PDF. So please review that. Let me know if you have questions. This week, you can just get a head start on using Hypothesis if you would like to. For extra credit, I called it an extra mile activity. You can annotate the Andrews and Flannery article. Is that the right? I should know their last names. Andrews and Burke. Sorry, it's Flannery Burke. That's right, it sounded wrong. The Andrews and Burke article about the 5 C's of history, about thinking historically. You can annotate that with Hypothesis to get a head start, to get a feel for using Hypothesis, and earn a little extra credit. So that's something you could also do this week, in addition to posting about your historical item. All right, I hope that makes sense. I hope it's helpful. I hope you're doing well. If what I just said doesn't make sense, if you haven't been able to get on Medium or use Twitter for class, or you're not sure what it is you're doing there, even though you've already gotten on those platforms, please let me know. I'm happy to help, and I hope that you're having a good day and you have a great rest of your week.